Hey, what's up, man? You know I gotta do it again. This is a new thing for me. I like this now. I like talking while I'm driving in the car. Two birds, one stone, man. I just gotta do it, okay? I'm a safe driver, I promise. Eyes on the road. Anyway, let's talk about anxiety attacks. I used to have a lot of anxiety attacks. My first time having an anxiety attack was when I was 19, and I finally stood up to my abusive uncle, and because it took a lot out of me to stick up for myself, which I was sticking up for my mom, so that's the same fucking thing. And so it was really tough, and I experienced it, and it kind of put me down, man. Like, I thought I was having a heart attack, like a lot of people who have anxiety attacks do. You do a lot of research as to what causes anxiety attacks or what causes heart attacks. I know I did both. Well, I'm more so focused on the heart attack aspect because I just figured that the anxiety attack wouldn't kill me. But, man, sometimes it was so goddamn bad. I thought it was, man. Your whole body shuts down. You feel the tightness in your chest. You feel the numbness in your body, your hands, your mouth, face. And in 2015 is when I had my last anxiety attack. I had left the hospital because after waiting all day, and I got a clean bill of health, but I went to the hospital because I was in a lot of pain. That's something that's a byproduct of anxiety, is that you actually start to feel physical pain. And what's kind of worse about it is that, you damn near look crazy. You saying, oh man, I feel all this, I feel that, or whatever. And, I can't find anything wrong. The doctors will say, now you're like a fucking hypochondriac, but you know what you felt. But anyway, the anxiety attacks, I just decided that, because I was taking Xanax, so I was kind of, I decided that I'm not taking any more medication, man. Now, obviously, it wasn't of a high dosage, so if you are taking medicine for anxiety, you might want to talk to your doctor if it's a high dosage. That's very important, because I know someone who's died from Xanax withdrawal. So definitely be on the lookout for withdrawal. I wouldn't advise you to do what I did, because I'm just a risk taker when it comes to myself, and I felt so desperate. For at one moment, at one point in my life in 2015, right before I gave up, right before I went to the hospital, and then said enough is enough. I was in a bed for a month, pretty much, man, and it was miserable. I never wanted to kill myself as much as that moment, man. I got really really brittle, really frail. But anyway, so I had a little list, and I got it in between my legs, but I can't look at it right now. But I think the first thing is you want to stay warm. Okay, so if you watch my videos and I talk about taking cold showers to reduce anxiety, it does do that. But if you don't have control, if you don't have the experience with working through anxiety and fixing the situation, then it could probably make matters worse. Because I remember the first time that I tried to take a cold shower, when people were saying that these motherfuckers, god damn it. But the first time I tried to take a cold shower to remedy the anxiety and just all the benefits that I saw, very instantly did I realize that it was bringing about the symptoms of anxiety, man. And I felt anxiety attack coming on while I was in the shower, and I was like, oh boy, here it goes. But I stood there, man. I just stuck it out, man. I was just like, all right, well, I'm just gonna keep doing it, man. They said that it fixes anxiety, so let's do it then. All right. And now that I think about it, I started taking those cold showers in 2016. So I wonder if that has a correlation. Because I probably only took 20 hot showers at the most since then. And like I said, I haven't had a cold shower since, I haven't had an anxiety attack since 2015. So that was interesting. But also, I had decided that I was just gonna go hard. I was gonna start working out and stuff like that. So the first thing, like I said, get warm, put warm clothes on, eat warm meals, all that good stuff. You do what you gotta do to get warm. Turn the air conditioning off, or if it's winter, turn the heat up. If you got a fireplace, things like that. It's all good, man. Put a hat on and stuff. So the next thing is that you focus on your breathing, which is what I did when I got in the cold shower. And cold showers make it easier for you to breathe anyway. So if you're feeling a little risky or whatever, you go ahead and try that out. So when I speak on, how to remedy the anxiety attacks, understand that I'm speaking both for preventing them and also to get rid of them while you feel it coming on. Okay? So if you know the signs, it's a lot easier to work through. Alright? So you focus on your breathing, nice, slow, deep breaths. Because if you notice when you have an anxiety attack, your breaths are fairly shallow. So you definitely want to focus on that. In through the nose, out through the mouth. You know how that goes. None of us are breathing right. It's like we're breathing on autopilot, man, when I think about it. So the next thing is to slow down the pace. I recall one time when I was on a night where I inevitably called the ambulance to pick me up. That was really embarrassing because it was snowing like nobody's business. Nobody could take me to the hospital. And I had to get the ambulance to come because I thought I was having a heart attack. My heart was beating so fast. My blood pressure was so high. I was so scared. And like I could feel the pain in my arm and all that. If you ever experienced that, you know exactly what I'm talking about, man. So I did that, and I thought one way to fix this situation is I went downstairs and I was like, well, I'm just gonna do a bunch of jumping jacks and running in place or whatever. That didn't help at all because it just kept my heart just beating fast. And then I tried to sleep it off, and I don't know, I was probably asleep for an hour or so, and I woke up and my heart was beating just as fast. And that's when I was feeling the tightness in my arms and chest, and I'm like, I'm having a heart attack. Oh my God. And I know some people may clown me for this, but anybody who's experienced both will tell you, man, they kind of feel the same. I recall in my research somebody saying that sometimes the anxiety attacks feel worse than the heart attack. So you can see why it's startling to a lot of people, man. And that's the thing, man. If you can't find a way to be calm while you're having anxiety attacks, it's gonna get worse because you try to resist it. You like, oh, your mind is just racing. But as I've noticed that as above, so below, as within, so without. So if you want your mind to slow down, you gotta slow your body down, and it's kind of scary because you kind of want to distract yourself, but in trying to distract yourself, all you're really doing is feeding the fire. So it's it's a catch-22. It's counterproductive. All right, so slow down the pace, along with the breathing, along with staying warm. Okay, and let's see. The next thing is to hug it out. All right. Hopefully you have somebody around who's empathetic enough. Don't bring them down with all the complaints and all this and that. Just stay quiet, stay slow, stay open, and nice warm hugs, nice tight hugs, man. It's been known to reduce anxiety and depression and stress. And we could all use a hug. It humanizes us. So make sure that you hug it out with a nice friend or relative, okay? And okay, so never take for granted a person who's there to support you, okay? I understand how we can take our relatives for granted. They always around, they always been there, whatever. And let's say if you're dealing with like relationship issues, there's only one person you probably want to hug and things like that. But you can't discount or discredit what another individual means, okay? Just because your mind is so caught up on your own personal issues, and because these, everybody's going through something. So always be grateful for people wanting to be there for you and hug it out, okay? So the last thing is chamomile tea. There's no caffeine in it. Oh, by the way, low on. Hey, stay away from the caffeine, man. All right. Caffeine is definitely kind of a no-no in the anxiety world. All right, as far as anxiety attacks go, because I don't exactly know why. I can't really think of it right now. I knew the answer at one point, but caffeine is a trigger for anxiety attacks. All right, if you're susceptible to them, you want to stay away from caffeine as much as possible. So that means you don't even want to mess around with green tea. Okay, but luckily there are teas with no caffeine in it, and chamomile tea is the best as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you got your peppermint tea, Earl Grey. I think Earl Grey might have some caffeine in it. You could probably get some without caffeine, but I know that chamomile has been known to reduce your stress, anxiety, depression. It's to calm you down. It's actually pretty good for sleeping as well. I'm actually gonna put together a video on how to get some good sleep. But that's all. To wrap it up, you gotta be kind to yourself. Slow down the pace. Look, this is a thing that I say to myself. Okay, I separate depression from anxiety. So I like to say that if you're depressed, speed it up, and if you're anxious, slow it down. Okay, so slow it down, get warm, be among friends, breathe, focus on yourself, man. Focus on your healing. And also, one thing that's kind of like a switch, at least it works like that for me, is that you gotta decide. Okay, you gotta decide when enough is enough. All right, you don't want to miss out on those great opportunities in life to connect, to have some fun, to do memorable things because of anxiety. And this is spoken from nothing but experience, man. But anyway, man, best wishes, like and subscribe. And look, and if you think, I'm just gonna say it, man, but if you're thinking about committing suicide or something like that, just reach out to me, and we're gonna work through your problems together. Because I can definitely relate to being suicidal, man. It's tough, and it's tough feeling like you got nobody there for you. But I'm here for you. Thank you.